Right. Hola a todos. This afternoon, while you're working independently, you're going to be working with the verb tener and its conjugated forms. Up until now, we've been working with AR, ER, and IR verbs that are all regular, so the steps of conjugation that we've been presenting in class work. Tener is not the case. You cannot drop the ER and add the ER endings. It does not work appropriately. So this is an irregular verb. I'm going to leave mine split screen like this so you can see how what I'm presenting answers the questions that you need to. You may wish to pause now and open your assignment so that you can go back and forth as I discuss. All right, so here's our verb tener. When it's written like that, that is an infinitive. An infinitive is a verb in its original form with AR, ER, or IR still attached. Again, a verb infinitive is a verb in its original form with its AR, ER, or IR attached. In the infinitive form, it won't agree with the subject. I can't say yo tener, I too have. That doesn't make sense. So I need to conjugate. Conjugating is changing the verb to agree with the person or thing doing the action. Again, conjugating is changing the verb to agree with the person or thing doing the action. So down here, tener means to have. We use the verb tener to talk about what people or things have. We can talk about possession. So let's switch. Okay. Okay, so you're going to be filling in the chart with the conjugated forms of tener. The yo form is tengo. You already know that. You know that from last year. So you're going to type in tengo, I have. The to form is tienes. You've heard that in cuántos años tienes. The él, ella, usted form, tiene. Nosotros tenemos. Vosotros tenéis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes tienen. When you look at this, you should observe what makes the verb irregular. Definitely this G, and definitely the I that pops in the to, él, usted, ellos, ellas, ustedes forms. The nosotros and vosotros are actually regular. So these four are different than if we were to conjugate regularly. So you're going to transfer these over into your chart. You really need to spell them right because that is the way they need to be used. On your end, you have some examples down here. Nosotros tenemos clase el lunes. We have class on Monday. ¿Tienes una bicicleta? Do you have a bike? Yo tengo una familia grande. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to do is simply fill in the blanks with the correct form of the verb tener, using your slide here as a reference for this. Now, let me bounce back over here for a moment. These are some of the reasons to use tener. Very simply, the first one is to say what someone or something has. That would be that slide that I just showed you. We've also been using tener to state age. That one's a little different. Manuel tiene 8 años. Manuel has 8 years. In English, we would just say Manuel is 8. So to say what someone or something has, to state age, or there's this third scenario. You can use tener to say what someone or something has to do. But when you do that, you use a form of tener, this word que, and then another verb in its original form. My example here, yo tengo que estudiar. I have to study. So if we bounce over to this slide, this is part of your assignment. Use tener plus que plus an infinitive to say what someone or something has to do. To say what someone or something has to do. So, coming up with two of your own sentences. Maybe something like, Yo tengo que estudiar. I have to study. The important thing is that you conjugate tener to agree with your subject. You use que as it is, and then you don't conjugate the second verb. Yo tengo que bailar. I have to dance. Tú tienes que leer. You have to read. So you're going to make up two of your own. Then your very last slide is for you to go as prescribed here. So I'll type this first one in to show you. I'm going to think about my to form of tener. My to form of tener is tienes. I'll make a space. I'll type que, just because that's the way to do it. Then I'll look over here, the verb to study. The verb to study is estudiar. I'm going to leave it in its original form. Form of tener plus que plus infinitive. Tú tienes que estudiar. That's your assignment for today. Buena suerte.